Hi guys, the moon is transiting Chiron today, and this is what you need to know. The story of Chiron is this. Chiron was the healer to the gods, a centaur who was just a magnificently accomplished healer, and he could cure anything. Until the gods came to him and said, Chiron, is it possible that a guy as fabulous as you, with so many talents in healing, could you create a poison that not even you could cure? And Chiron says, yeah, I think so. And he makes it, and then he accidentally stabs himself with it. And that is the story of Chiron. Chiron is the energy of the wound that not even the master healer can heal. Okay. Wherever this wound is in your own life, it is playing a massive role. I can guarantee it to you. How you can find this, I will put the link below to lightfilled.co, which is Naomi Fox Reina's um, website where you can run a free chart and you can just say, it'll say like Chiron at, whatever degrees of Sagittarius or whatever. And then what you can do is Google up Chiron in Sagittarius and you can read up about what that can look like in your own life. And I bet you will be blown away by how it is impacting you in real life. So everybody has a natal placement of Chiron because when you were born, Chiron was somewhere, and wherever it was is how it's impacting you. You may have Chiron in any of the 12 houses of the zodiac or any of the 12 signs, and which house and sign that it is gonna it's gonna play into how it shows up for you personally every day of your life. Okay. At the same time, Chiron kept moving. Okay. Chiron is still going and it's busy doing its best life. And as Chiron is moving through the zodiac, just on its normal orbit, it's triggering up our wounds in every area of the zodiac. So, for example, your natal Chiron might be in Taurus, but right now, Chiron is in Aries. And so whatever wounding you have in the zone of Aries in your own life is going to be stirred up by that Chiron energy. And then, of course, if that Chiron is making any angles to any of the stuff in your natal chart, that could be triggering up your wounds in those areas as well. Now, Chiron is not just about wounding, though, because remember that Chiron is the master healer. And so wherever you have Chiron, you don't just have the deep wounds, you also have the potential for absolute mastery. If you feel like Chiron is kicking your butt, it's an invitation to look within and say, okay, what do I need to heal inside of myself so I can change this terrible energy into mastery? And the secret is you absolutely are capable of making that shift because that is the only way you could have that Chiron placement. That Chiron placement can show up like a thorn in your side, but it's really a promise and a blessing that if you do the steps necessary, you can and you will shift that wounding into mastery. So I feel, if I may be personal about it, I've shared this before, but my own Chiron is in the 12th house in Cancer, and I feel it every day. I feel it super much, especially because some of my kids have placements that are exact that Cancer's my Cancer Chiron. I'm like, ow! I'll every time those things show up for my kids, it looks like a little wound for me to process, which is great because these are the situations that transform us from being deeply wounded to being deeply masterful. We get to change the wound into wisdom, and that is the alchemy of Chiron. It's the alchemy of our soul, and it's the alchemy of today because the moon is transiting Chiron today. Now, let's back it up because the moon is on a quick orbit. It takes just 1 month to go all the way around the zodiac. So this happens every month. Every month of our whole lives, the moon has transited Chiron, but today you're just aware of it. The moon is transiting Chiron today. What does that mean for you? It means that you may feel a little bit extra wounded, or you may feel a little extra supported in your mastery. Right now, Chiron and the moon are both together in the sign of Aries, which deals with the physical body. It deals with your incarnation, that moment that you went from being a spirit to being a spirit inside of a body. Okay. That magical moment is ruled by Aries, the magical moment of that you are alive inside of a body. And if you have a bunch of wounds about that, they've probably been coming up for the past couple of years that Chiron has been in Aries because it's on a slower cycle. And they may be extra coming up today. If you are not thrilled about um, the body that you have and the challenges of your physical body, those things may show up for you today. Or you may also find that you have extra support to shift out of that wounded zone and step into mastery zone and realize, like, hey, I've really struggled with this aspect of my body for a while. Here's a new idea. Here's a new thought. Here's a new feeling, a new perspective to help me shift out of wound zone and into wisdom zone. Okay. So we get to bring our own attitude to the chart, and that influences how it's going to show up for us. So the moon is transiting Chiron today. Are you going to choose to let it leave you feeling more wounded, or are you going to allow it to transform you into someone a little bit wiser? That is the big question. As I'm talking about it, I hadn't thought of this ever before, but now I want to say it. I was thinking about how I mean, I've been looking at transit charts and election stuff and all this thing, and today I was thinking about the Obama presidency and how Obama actually ran against gay marriage, and how he was, I mean, everybody running that year was against gay marriage, and like now look how different it is. That was 2008. So what is that? That's like 15, 16 years ago. And the world is a really different place. But Chiron has been in Aries for several years, and I need to go and look up the exact date that Chiron entered Aries. But in this moment, I'm thinking, oh, our culture is seeing huge wounding around our incarnation. You know, there are so many people who feel deeply, they feel these deep wounds around the body that they were born into. And I feel like that it truly has picked up in the past couple of years that Chiron has been in this zone of the zodiac. So I'll have to do some more research into that. But it's very interesting that this transit would align with so much thought and so much discussion and so much fixation over the feeling that I was born in the wrong body, and so much fixation. I mean, it's not just gender stuff, but also, I mean, like we're starting to see people that want to be animals or think that they are animals, and people that feel like they're the wrong age and they identify as a baby. Even, situations. Oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. But the point is that we're seeing it on a lot of different fronts. Oh, I was thinking of disability, where there are classes of children where almost everyone in the whole class has like special needs of some kind or another. I'm talking like school classrooms. And so I think there's a lot of fixation on my body is wrong right now. And that is definitely a Chiron in Aries kind of vibe. And that Chiron's going to be in Aries for a while yet. We've still got a ways to go before it enters Taurus. And then we'll get to deal with our big wounds around money and land and the economy and landlords and stewardship, right? So that will be something to look forward to. But for now, the big fixation is our wounds with our physical bodies. Also, I'm thinking Ozempic, and I don't even know how to say it. Wegovy, I don't know. But anyway, all these like weight loss drugs that I don't know. We'll see if using them is wisdom or wounding, right? And if where are we using them from emotionally? And then it's coming out that sometimes these drugs have unintended consequences, and we're just going to have to see how it plays out. But this Chiron and Aries energy deeply deals with embodiment and Virgo. So the sun just entered Virgo, and the sun in Virgo also kind of deals with embodiment. Virgo is a very embodied sign, even though it's like it can be detached from its physical body. It's obsessed with the health of its physical body. So we have a lot going on today to support us in getting real about what we need to change for our physical bodies. And that moon is just going to draw our attention to it really strongly. So as we go through the day, I just wanted to invite all of us to remember we get to choose if we're going to wallow in our wounding or transform the wound into wisdom. That is a choice that we get to make. And I know it's easier said than done. And guess what? I am not above wallowing. If what we need to do is wallow for a while, it's allowed. We're supposed to be here to feel our feelings. So if you don't want to alchemize some wounding into wisdom today, that's fine. I hope you have a very magnificent pity party. And I'm not kidding. Go and cry, go and feel your feelings and feel really sorry for yourself. And I allow it. Sometimes that's what we need to do in order to take our next step forward, is to fully feel the grief about where we have been so that we can let it go and move on. So these are things to have on your mind today. I would love to hear how your day goes if you care to share in the Facebook group Intuitive Healing with Ali Duzette. And don't forget to write your pages. Tomorrow is our live session. It is at 9 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time. And I love hanging out with you live. I hope you can make it. The link is below. And have a great day.